Hi guys, this is Breaker yet again, and I am back casting another game between EmpireHappy and eXeS Risk. I decided to go ahead and say, there was a third game between both of these players, but I didn't feel like casting it because honestly, it showed EmpireHappy as off racing, so this led me to believe that, basically he didn't take his opponent seriously, underestimated him, and he basically got beaten in that. It was a best of 3 series that EmpireHappy had won. But of course, as always, you have to be extremely careful when playing against an opponent of at least sizable skill. And Risk is definitely not a factor to be, or Risk is not a force to be dealt with lightly, if you will. From what I've seen in the last game with him, he's got acceptable gameplay. He's got very good responses, very standard mechanics. But let's just see how this game goes. Alright, so it looks like we have EmpireHappy going for what may be a single racks into an expo, if you will. By the way, this is not Heart of the Swarm, it is actually Wings of Liberty. And as said before, this was actually a part of the Zotact Cup. So let's just see where things go from here. Alright, so EmpireHappy has moved out with his SCV. Gonna try and get a good read on his opponent, figure out what's going on, and the map is of course Daybreak LE. There are a good deal of choke points on this map. Of course, one thing that you will kind of take note of it is it's kind of MOBA style, if you will. I'll go ahead and show you guys what's going on before the SCV actually reaches that area. What I mean by MOBA style is there's those 3 main lanes. The only problem is it just doesn't really follow it that well. Here's the top lane, if you will, and here's the bottom lane, sort of, if you could just imagine it. And here we go. SCV is in the main, sees that there's a gas and cybernetics core, and that's about it. So thus far, we don't see any overcommitment to this tech or that tech from Risk. No single base stalker play. And it looks like Happy's going to go ahead and throw down his expo right here, while simultaneously just waiting here, maybe to harass a probe that is unsuspecting and waiting to throw down a Nexus. But of course there's a Stalker that's going to, or not Stalker, but a Zealot that's going to show up here and try and deal with that quite aptly. Oh boy, and it must be really annoying to be in this kind of situation for Risk, because the SCV outruns the Zealot, but not quite the probe. So now we have the expo of, let's see here, Risk about 50 seconds ahead of that of his opponent. 50? Let's see here. 50, give or take. More like 46 seconds ahead, but yeah, same difference. Alright, and the forward bunker is already done. I did just miss clicking on that. Forward bunker is done for EmpireHappy. One thing that you guys will have to note is that even though this is Wings of Liberty, it actually this one replay was actually out on the same day that HOTS released, if I'm not mistaken. So I can just click around freely and show you what tech is being researched where, or what building is doing what. And here we are, it's 70% finished with the Warp Gate tech, and it looks like we see the same opener from eXeS Risk that we did from Happy, that we did from him last game, excuse me, sorry. Whitebeard. Well, it looks like there was a poor guy. There was a guy who was lagging out, and he unfortunately left the game. Looks like it was Whitebeard. Perhaps he was a Russian caster, I don't know. But now there's a double gas over here for EmpireHappy, so I'm a little curious to see just what he has planned with this. I don't see anything costing gas in production just yet, aside from Stim. But of course, there's also not a substantial amount of gas being floated just yet from EmpireHappy, so he's actually using his macro score quite well. I'm a little curious as to whether or not we're going to see a third rather soon. SCV's just kind of patrolling around here, just checking to make sure there's no pylons, and maybe we're going to see the third base in production relatively soon? No. instead what we see is an engineering bay and a factory going down. Of course, I wouldn't be surprised to see Happy just use the factory to just scout like he did last game. I also wouldn't be surprised to see him just throw it away. And now we have the main force of eXeS Risk moving out. The Stalker kind of catches on to just what's going on here. But it looks like Risk, you know, he's ready to put on a good deal of pressure right here. This could actually be really bad if Happy's not ready for it. He does have a second bunker on the way. He's got a lot of SCVs. He just doesn't have a lot to hold this with. I'm a little curious as to see just how this is going to pan out for him. This is a lot of Zealots mostly. There's only one Marauder in there to really kite for the Zealots. But, of course, the force fields get thrown down a little bit late. And now I'm a little curious to see just how this is going to go. My god, Risk is really tearing Happy apart. The supply difference is now double of that. And it looks like Risk may just power through and win this. There it is, GG from EmpireHappy. Risk has won a game against EmpireHappy. I can't believe it. Well guys, if you guys liked what you saw, just go ahead and click on the follow button. I'm going to go ahead and cast the third game. As I said before, there was Happy off racing as Zerg. So I'm a little curious to see how that went, or if it was even counted as a real tournament game. So yeah guys, thanks for watching. This has been Breaker. I'll see you guys with the third game relatively soon.